Welcome back to WagerTalk.com. We're going to do another handicapping video. We're going to talk about the benefits of being a contrarian. Now, guys, you know that I'm a big situational guy, and a lot of times the situations that I look at is going to set me up with something where I'm going to be going against the popular play. I'm looking for a team that's going to be in a letdown spot, coming off a big game, where generally the public is going to look at that team coming off the big game and they just saw them play a big game and they want to jump on the bandwagon because they saw with their eyes. And I think it's great to watch games, but you got to be able to have, blinders on sometimes when you're watching the games, because a lot of times if you're watching a game and you have the winning side and that team's winning, it seems like they're playing that much better for you. It's magnified. You got to be objective when you're watching these games. And when a team does have a great game, there's going to be built-in line value going in the next game, especially if it's a TV game. I mean, back in the day, Monday Night Football was the greatest handicapping tool for one play for me almost the following week, every week. If I had a team that looked extremely bad or extremely good, it was almost an automatic, I'm going to be on that game the following week going against the good team or taking the bad team, just because of the built-in value. Guys, agree, disagree?
Yeah, I think the tournament is great for it because you're getting people who are going to watch every game of the tournament. A lot of these teams, we saw it last night, Florida Gulf Coast, look great. And that's the first time all season these people have seen them play. So now they're thinking, maybe they could beat, North Carolina. Well, obviously the line comes into effect. So there's going to be a lot of people look at that and go, hey, I think they give them a chance. It all depends on what your power ratings are. I'm not going to give out what I think on the game. But, yeah, it's just like Monday Night Football, but it's teams have played 40. It's like, I was talking to somebody last night. You play 40 games at this point or whatever, and you see them play one time. That's 2.5% of their entire season, and you're basing your entire thought process on that one game, and that's never going to be good.
Gina, when the public, in a perfect example going from last week, and it was a game that I was on the right side, fortunately, you had Connecticut play a 4 overtime game on Friday. Then they move into Saturday. Well, the knee-jerk reaction from the betting public is, one, college basketball teams don't play back-to-back days. So that's against the norm to start with. Now you throw in a 4 overtime game, they automatically want to jump in and bet against that team just blindly because of that reason. And Vegas knows that. They know where the public's going to come. There's built-in value being the contrarian and going the other way. And I'm in my write-up I put, these are 20-year-old kids. They played one game. It wasn't like this was the third game of the stretch. It was only the second
4
game.
nights or something.
Yeah, it's the second game. They're going to show up. They're going to be there.
No, I think if you looked a little deeper into that game against Temple, following that 4 overtime game, when they were on the road a few weeks before in Temple, they were laying like 5.5. And they were up 12 late. I think Temple scored like 18 or 17 in a row or something, and then they ended up going to overtime and won the game. So UConn, I think, had lost twice to Temple, so they had like a double revenge angle. Plus, they were laying like 2 or 3 later in the day, versus when they were laying 5.5 a couple weeks before on the road. And this was a neutral, so there definitely was quite an overreaction to that. So when you are looking into some of these games on the short turnarounds, from a Thursday to a Saturday or Friday to Sunday, you definitely need to take into account everything, and you can't just knee-jerk reaction to what you see in one game. Definitely.
We saw a Georgia team. What was it, last year or 2 years ago, where they had to play like 5 games in 4
Georgia
days,
did?
including 2 in the same day or something. Just a tremendous, and everybody was, they can't keep this up, and they covered like every game.
Wow.
And the books made a lot of money on that.
Yeah. The point, the benefits in a nutshell of being a contrarian is you're generally going to get built-in value. Now, if I would ask you, Brian, if you made all of your bets for an entire year, same way with you, Preston, and I would go back and say, I'm going to give you a 0.5 point to a point that you can go back and add to all of those plays. How many plays are you going to pick up? Probably some wins over the course of a season. And we're talking about when you're playing high volume,
every point counts.
If you're a contrarian, you're going to be on the other side of where the public's thinking and where the public's going, and the public is driving the line. We know that there's big bettors that move the lines, but the public, especially the TV games, the standalone games, you're going to get more value being on the other side of the fence.
I just wanted to say one quick example that Tulsa Michigan matchup we have later today. We talked about it last night. Should have been more like pick. It was like 4. And now today you're seeing some bite back. I think I saw 2.5 before I came in.
2 someplace.
2 even. So that, I mean, that shows you how much of an overreaction you really can have from one conference tournament, or the media saying Tulsa doesn't deserve to be in, that type of thing.
If you are making your bets day of game and you're saying, I'm going to bet on this team for a well-known reason, everybody who's already bet into that already knows that reason. You're last to the counter.
Yep.
So you're going to get the worst lines. So keep that in mind. If you're betting day of the game, Contrarian is really the way to go.
That's it. All right, guys. Hope you enjoy these handicapping videos. And hey, if you're new to WagerTalk, we got $50 for you. After your first purchase of $12 or more, email support, give them your username. We'll put a $50 bonus in your account. You can spend it any way you want at WagerTalk.com. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to check out all the videos at WagerTalk.com.